CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. A legal precedent in Ontario could impact the future of bike lanes in Calgary. It comes as our mayor and Alberta's transportation minister meet today about the issue. Devin Dreeshen wants bike lanes removed from what he calls major corridors in Calgary. The minister says their use doesn't justify the cost. He also claims bike lanes hurt traffic flow and increase congestion. The Ontario government has been using the same arguments to get rid of some bike lanes in Toronto. But today, a court struck down those attempts. The ruling in favor of bike lanes says the province didn't provide enough evidence to back up its claims. It also says removing the protective lanes will put cyclists at increased risk for harm and death. The number of lab-confirmed E. coli cases linked to the Saskatoon farm in Okotoks has risen to 36. Alberta Health Services says 11 of those cases also tested positive for a parasitic infection and several for norovirus and rotavirus. More than 230 people have reported falling ill after eating at the farm south of Calgary. As of yesterday, 3 people had been hospitalized. AHS expanded the exposure window from July 1st to July 18th. Food service facilities at the Saskatoon farm will be closed until AHS deems it safe to reopen. Tomorrow is the last day to get a free COVID vaccine in Alberta. The province is pausing the program to prepare for the fall rollout. It says a new formula will arrive by October, offering the best protection against the latest strain of the virus. This year, Albertans have to order their own shot, or COVID shot rather. You can start registering for your dose August 11th. Also new is the fee most Albertans will have to pay for the vaccine. The province hasn't revealed how much it will cost, and we are the only jurisdiction in Canada that will be charging for access to the COVID vaccine. Signatures can now be collected for an approved referendum question. The question is, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? Former Conservative MLA Thomas Lukaszuk is behind the initiative. Alberta's chief electoral officer says because the question was approved before legislative changes to the Citizen Initiative Act, it will need to follow the old rules. That means over 293,000 signatures need to be gathered by October 28th. A candidates' debate last night in the federal riding of Battle River Crowfoot.
It would be the privilege of my life to provide both the local representation and the national leadership to the community.
I am not here for any personal aspirations. I am here for you. I am here for my neighbors. I am here for all of our communities.
A moderator asked questions submitted by the public ahead of time, touching on immigration, healthcare, agriculture, and the economy. There are more than 200 candidates running in the by-election. Voting day is August 18th. The Bank of Canada is maintaining its key interest rate at 2.75%. The central bank says while some elements of U.S. trade policy have started to become more concrete, trade negotiations remain fluid and the threat of new sectoral tariffs continue. It goes on to say that the Canadian economy has slowed but is showing signs of resilience. And while inflation is still close to 2%, underlying inflation has picked up. Alberta Fish and Wildlife are looking for the person who cut off the paws of a dead bear east of Edmonton. The agency says on Sunday a bear had been hit and killed by a vehicle east of Vegreville. When highway maintenance workers arrived to remove the bear, they saw someone trying cutting the paws. Anyone with information is asked to call Fish and Wildlife or the 24-hour Report a Poacher line. While they've been around for decades, more pelicans are flocking to Alberta.
Even my daughter was out here one day. She's like, "Dad, is that a swan?" I said, "Nope, that's a pelican." You know, it was very cool.
Nature Alberta says the American white pelican is the only pelican species in Alberta, and its breeding colonies are getting larger. Nick Carter says while conditions are prime for pelicans right now, they are a sensitive species and it wouldn't take much for their numbers to drop.
These colonies are really susceptible to diseases and other kind of environmental impacts, habitat loss, that kind of thing.
Pelicans fly up from the California coast in May to breed and fish. They leave by September. The crowds will be roaring with delight with the return of Disney's The Lion King at the Southern Jubilee tonight. The award-winning musical will run for 3 weeks through to August 17th. It's no small feat to bring this show to life. It takes 17 trucks to transport the puppets, set pieces, costumes, and it takes crews 4 days to set up the production in a new city. Tickets are still available to catch Simba, Nala, Pumbaa, and the entire cast bringing the animated film to life. Head to BroadwayAcrossCanada.ca or Ticketmaster. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnews.ca/Calgary.